welcome to Everyone Racers,
a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of Lemmy Champ or Lucky Track Dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate.
as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussion,
Tips, tricks,
as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
whether it's on the spot.
hella sweet,
Or we're lucky enough in Chrissy.
Chrissy,
I give you just the tip.
We're sure you'll giggle a little.
And learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
There's no Tim, and I'm mental. I don't think
And I'm
there's an
Tom.
Tom.
Yeah, I think with what Tim's doing, he is like not on at all. If he can even remember, what's going on right now.
Nope.
So this is a 1963 Pontiac Super Duty episode. It's episode 421. The 421 Super Duty V8 changed a lot of the rules around street legal and production-based vehicles in that era, and in doing so, helped create the blueprint for the All-American Sleeper. They took this big lump of an engine that had the heart of a champion and certainly could hold its own. And anyone who was obsessed with bigger, better, faster, it was the 60s. Pontiac introduced the 421 SD Super Duty as a special order competition-only unit before briefly offering it in regular production options. Not just high-performance models, but on like the Catalina and the Grand Prix. Pontiac's sterling efforts resulted in truly mean machines, and the 421 Super Duty was the dominant force on tracks NASCAR and National Hot Rod Association. While everybody else was struggling to keep up, it set blistering quarter miles in the mid 12-second range, and quite a few got to 110 miles an hour on these skinny bias ply tires. Now, 12 seconds may not seem like a lot in an era of 300 horsepower minivans, but back in 1962, that was a big deal. So if you're not cruising around in your mile-long Pontiac, what you working on? Don't all speak at once.
No, it's just kind of a rough week. In working on things, I haven't really been working on things. I've been working, unfortunately, and I worked on getting a speeding ticket on our way home from Santa Fe yesterday.
And thankfully, it was low. And we've
It's
clocked us at
when they
a
catch
low
you.
time.
Right. Oh, only 79.
Hey,
Yeah, right. Because when you're driving a Mercedes across the desert when there's nothing around, that's low. But anyway, very nice. The officer from the Chaffee County Sheriff's Department knocked it down to 5 to 9 over the limit instead of 19, and that's only 1 point, which goes away if you pay them promptly. If you pay them within 20 days, you get 0 points. Thanks, Colorado. I mean,
so we just made our donation.
Nice about it, right? Here's my donation to the Chaffee County Policeman's Fund or whatever it is. Anyway.
Just because we were driving fast.
Yeah. And Mercedes, I had to order some new snow tires for it, even though the ones we have are not quite worn out, because one of them developed a bit of a tread separation. There's kind of a bulge on the left front in the tread, not in the sidewall. So that's unfortunate because it goes whoomp, 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 and it growls when you get to speed. And
to be clear, it has been doing this for a while now.
It's gotten a lot worse now.
I've also said, hey, I think there's something wrong with the tires. He was like, no, it's the road. And then it's like, no, I think there's something wrong with the tires. And it's still the road.
Worse. Yep.
And it's still in different states now. So there's that.
Enough different roads still doing it. It's not the road. So,
I could have told you that.
In fact, you did.
In fact, I did. To be clear, I did this, but I just want to make sure we're on the record because I did say that there was a problem and he said no. So
it's fine.
Fine.
It's so some new Michelin snows are on the way because that was the only thing in our size, really. So that's really all I've been working on. I wish there were more. There will be someday. Not yet.
So we actually did. We got all of these things: new tires needed and speeding tickets, because we decided to take a trip to Santa Fe because that is the last state that Chris needs to check off on his lower 48. So Chris made a lovely trip. He made a plan to go to a national park that we went on a nice hike, kind of walk hike. Then we went to some hot springs that we kind of stumbled upon. We were trying to find some lunch in the middle of nowhere, and there happened to be some hot springs around, and they were the pay kind, but it was lovely, really, really nice. Didn't pay for too much, and you never know with some of the free ones you end up with in a tepid tub with 6 other people, and there's only enough room for 4. So and then we had a whole lot of really good food. So quick jaunt to Santa Fe, and then came home. And then
Usually
now
you have
I'm
to pay extra to snuggle in a hot tub.
yes, and it's a little bit better if you know them. But it's
sometimes it's worse.
Usually we do
it's
it
not
with,
like the 10 people we had in the hot tub in New Hampshire that one time.
right.
That's what I was waiting for.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I'm working up a storm, working plenty. Long days. I think I have 19,000 steps for today. So it's a lot, but we're doing it. So mental. So tell us what is going on, because you started alluding that you made a trip to somewhere. So what?
So I spent the majority of the holiday weekend on the road driving to Seattle. Project 213, the Volkswagen car Megea, we are going back to run it to 150, and that requires a cage. And the cage is simple enough. A road racing cage will do it. But also after we get to 150, we're going to start chasing some records, and anything beyond that requires a more substantial cage. So I took the car up to Ranger Road headquarters in Seattle and spent a great weekend with Jay St. Clair and his family. So it was a relatively easy drive. Towed the vehicle up there, dropped it off. We got a little bit of preliminary sketching done, and he's got a plan of attack. The goal is to have it ready in April for the Pacific Raceways. And if I'm not judging, I'll go back up there and pick it up and bring it home. So if I'm not judging, I'll be shopping for a seat on that one. And that was a great time. There was some weather, so it routed me kind of weird on the way up and then through Oregon on the way back. But Seattle itself was lovely. So had a great time, and then got home sooner than I could. We could play Guess the Rental, but it was a truck, and it was a full-size truck, which basically comes down to, which truck was it? So, it was a Ford.
How was it?
How did it tow?
So this one, awful. Initially, I showed up knowing that I had 2,200 miles to put under my butt. I went for the most comfortable one they had, and it was a Dodge Laramie. As I left the rental place, the first stoplight, the truck completely shuts off. Like not the auto start, like just dark.
Oh.
And I had to restart it, and then it did it again at the next stoplight and threw a check engine code.
You're like, this is going to be a long trip if we're going to turn off every time.
If I wanted a broken truck, I didn't have to go rent one.
Exactly. So I spun it around and brought it back in, and the staff at Enterprise, oh, we're so sorry. And the kid's like, I'm going to go get you my newest, lowest mile truck. And he sprints out of there, and he comes back with the one that I turned down because it didn't have anything I wanted for 2,200 miles. And it was a Ford XLT, 4x4 crew cab, no seat heaters, no radar guided cruise control.
Do you want these things in a car that works, or do you want will you live
ideally both, but
ideally.
Yeah. And then it, so it was like, especially the radar guided cruise control. I've gotten very spoiled with that. Yeah. But, it was uneventful. The seats, it wasn't a design flaw of the truck. It's just whoever optioned this thing optioned it the worst possible way. Just, anything that you might want. No. And then the particular cloth seats on this one were really soft. So just, your back starts to bother you after a while. I would have liked something a little more supportive. And the whole time I'm driving up there, I'd gotten sent a meme, and maybe you guys have seen this one. It's a guy in a Lamborghini Super Trofeo Cup car, and he comes out of a corner, and the video is taken from inside the race car, and you can hear him calling his crew chief, "Hey man, the car's really rough over this last section right here." And his crew chief gets on the radio and literally says, "Wah, my Lamborghini race car is uncomfortable. Wah." So every time I would start to complain about the truck, that would pop into my head.
You basically got a Ford work truck, right?
Yeah, well, it was slightly better than, but if I'm not going to have bun warmers, I would have preferred the vinyl seats that were a little more supportive than these cloth ones. But yeah, there were times I wanted those. I wanted the seat heaters.
You're weighing at yourself. Why don't you weigh at yourself?
So,
Oh, that's funny.
And then on my way there Friday, I received an email from Clark County. I'd been selected for potential jury duty, and they said, yeah, well, this was a continuation, and they said, you are an alternate. We need you here Tuesday at 1:15. So today I arrived at the Clark County Courthouse for what could not have possibly been worse timing for me to do jury duty. And as I showed up at the courtroom, they said, thank you. Sorry to drag you all the way down here. The case was resolved out of court 30 minutes ago. No, I'm good. I know,
but you couldn't send an email?
I wouldn't have gotten it because I was already on my way there.
I guess.
So they said, your obligation has been counted. You are good. So I should be left alone for a while.
You didn't get your
good
sandwich?
Yeah, no, I'm good with, not feeding me. So,
right. If you just get a check, like if that checks you off as being there, that's fantastic.
Exactly. Because it was going to be a massively boring trial. Nothing interesting.
Well,
Welcome
or
to
you
my
just.
life. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, or you end up on the list, call, don't get it. 4 months later, 2 years later, 1 year later, 2 years later, then you just end up on the list. I swear I was on one in Pennsylvania. I called so many times. So that's annoying too. So,
yeah, I was surprised because normally, I've been tagged before and, welcome to everyone's social affairs, but they're like, oh, heterosexual, middle-aged, white military veteran. We're good, bud. Why don't you just go ahead and stay home? Like I never make it past the fill out the demographic information. They normally text me as soon as I hit submit, but this one they kept me.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for doing your civic duty. Great job. All right. So now you've heard another voice in the background. You might recognize it. Fellow Colorado racer, multiple HMG winner, lemons judge, an all around mad scientist and great person, Tom Webb. Tom, what you working on, friend?
Well, I had a carpal tunnel surgery on the end of December, so I haven't been working on much. But even with one hand, I've been able to basically just been working on a lot of this lighting option stuff for this the new rules that are coming up because I've just been at home. So I've been on phone calls with people in Hong Kong trying to figure out electroluminescent panel rates just to see if I could order a bunch of them. That's really just been a lot of electronic work with one hand. I've been doing some continuing education for my engineering work, which has been
good use of your time.
Ridiculously boring. I spent 4 chapters on thermocouples and I was like ready to, so it's really nice to be able to kind of not get out of the house, but get into the barn and get on the podcast and talk to people about car stuff.
Yes. That's
more practical and less theoretical. Yes.
Yes,
that's
very much. That's about it.
Okay, let's move on because Tom has a lot to tell us today. It's news and notes time. Okay, I'm not sure how much you know about the Amish, but we had some communities not far from us in PA. They typically don't drive unless they come up with a good reason for it, like work. So horse and buggies are still commonly used, apparently because they said that the cars mess up their communities, though everybody's still driving through their town. So not sure really how much I buy that. But bikes are very common. Apparently now they're allowing e-bikes and they're all the rage. Justin Hughes from Jalopnik says that apparently Amish communities are now allowing the use of e-bikes, which I'm sure they appreciate because they're traveling in all weather. And in some places there's plenty of hills. Many Amish communities utilize electricity for some things, which make it possible to charge when they need it. But since e-bikes don't really have any downside like pollution or annoying like cars, communities are now thinking it's a good idea. They are getting a little bit closer to current times.
I think they just make their rules up as they go.
I think they do too.
Like, come on, people. Like, no zippers. But
right?
bikes, No problem.
Legit. Yeah, and that's why I thought that story was interesting, because I was like, what?
Like, okay, the bicycles got it.
Yeah, you can
the
have a
kick scooters
phone.
they run. Yep, fine. You can have a phone if it's for business.
But it has to be out at the street. It cannot be in the house. It has to be in the shed. And then you have to go out and check your messages every once in a while.
And
Yes,
you
I
must
agree.
remain pure. But you can take like a year off and just don't go like,
You absolutely can.
That's the best one. I love that rule.
Yeah.
I love that rule.
Yep. But if you're making your choice, you can never come back. So you're like, do I really like freedom, or do I want to come back and actually see my family?
I actually listened to a podcast. They said like it's a 95% return rate.
Well, people like occasionally, like the families, or literally just shunned from everybody, you know, and you're like, I don't even know if they give you money. They just like say, okay, great. You said you're out. I'm out. Anyway, this is not everyone Amish.
Shame. That's what we do when people come in for Black Flags. We give them the Amish shame treatment. Shame.
Except it usually has some kind of phallic thing.
That's part of
well, as long as it doesn't have a zipper on it, that's allowed too.
Buttons, though, fine.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Hey, next time you walk out to your car, you might want to make sure it still has the airbag in it, because apparently airbag thefts are on the rise. A story found in Motor Week tells us that people are working hard to steal airbags for the black market. It's something that's been happening for quite some time, gaining new momentum after the massive Takata airbag recalls in 2013. That resulted in general shortage of replacement airbags, and unfortunately that continues to affect owners even today, with Honda and Acura models and their owners suffering the most. According to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, it's estimated around 50,000 airbags are stolen every year, accruing an annual loss of more than 50 million. Airbags can be sold in the black market for $50 to $250, severely undercutting the cost of a new bag, retailing upwards of $1,000. While the Takata airbag recall hit Honda and Acura models especially hard, there are other reasons they continue to be the most popular targets. That includes the more recent and make-specific recall from 2024, issuing notices for over 750,000 vehicles. Another, just Hondas are popular, so there's opportunities for thieves and demand for parts. I wish I could have sold the airbags out of the race car, but there didn't seem to be any interest in the airbags from a 2007 Pontiac Solstice or Mazda 3 or 92 300ZX. Yeah, and I wanted to go set them off at the race, but there was New Jersey, and I know that's not going to go well. If I start exploding things at New Jersey, they're not going to be happy. They don't have a sense of humor.
Also, you're on mute. Yep, mute. Yep.
Not only do you live in a state now where you could do that, it's encouraged.
Right.
Yeah, that's Tuesday.
Well, they didn't come with us, so we don't have them. But we had a heck of a time. I just thought this is such a funny, not a funny story, because it's not funny that anybody's stealing things, but like we had a heck of a time trying to get rid of them, and here there are people that are literally just stealing them.
Yeah,
quite a game.
Okay, well, folks, are you in the market for a really, really expensive BMW 1996 750i that was celebrity owned? Well, don't say anything just yet, because Seaman Rishtagi at Autoblog tells us that the infamous Tupac Shakur BMW that he was gunned down in is up for sale again. Apparently up for sale for 1.5 mil, more than 7 years, didn't get sold. Now Celebrity Cars of Las Vegas has it relisted at an astonishing 1.75 million. And you might think a car with that kind of history and a V12 would appeal to collectors, but there's one aspect that has tanked its value. It's been completely restored. The bullet holes were plugged and painted over, and the original black leather interiors were refinished, leaving no signs of the fateful event that night in 1996, except for some dings where the insulating sheet behind the door cards. The irony here is that for collectors seeking a car with legitimate ties to music history, its pre-restoration battle scars are exactly what have made it more appealing despite the high price tag. Celebrity Cars is said to have been firm on the selling price, having reportedly turned down an offer for $900,000 from an overseas buyer when the car first went on sale with them. The prime suspect in Tupac Shakur's shooting is set to face trial on the 21st. So tomorrow.
Like tomorrow.
And Tupac's own Hummer H1 is auctioned a few days after, sparking an increase in inquiries about the car the rapper had his last ride in. I am going to go with this is still kind of morbid, man. It's like the death car that they have down in Prim, the famous couple from the
Bonnie
40s that went around.
Bonnie
and Clyde. God, yeah, my brain today.
Those people.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, Thelma and Louise. The Bonnie and Clyde death car. Yeah, I
Why
Don't-
wouldn't you just leave the bullet holes? That's the whole
Right?
thing. Like,
Yeah.
Like that's the selling point. You're
Yeah.
like, now it just looks like an old BMW. You're like, cool.
yeah.
I just bought this really expensive black car. Okay, cool.
otherwise, those are worth about $350 because
Yeah,
I mean,
not much.
you just go pick up another one, get some wheels on it, and say, "Hey, this was Tupac's car."
Yeah.
How do you know?
We'll park it in the yard. I'll shoot it, and then we'll say this is Tupac's car.
That's a whole new genre of marketplace. Like this is Jesus's bicycle. Or a Honda Accord, because all his disciples went around in one Accord.
Exactly.
But well done.
Dad joke.
He's got the dad
Wow.
jokes.
Wow, that was so much. Okay. I didn't. I hope this is still here. I didn't even write
It is.
right.
I love it because it means you really can't find anything on Racing Junk.
That's true. Okay. I highly recommend finding a partner that enjoys things you also love. It's the first step to a long and fruitful marriage. I didn't write that. And if you found that certain someone, you can save a few bucks. And you can spend time on Go Fast parts when you take advantage of this guy's misfortune. It is a wedding band. It is silver. It is $1,600. I don't know where it is. It
It's
is
in Cave Springs, Arkansas. You see
Correct.
Michael sharing a screen and showing you exactly what it says.
Oh, I can see.
Gentlemen's
Yeah.
Platinum wedding band, 5mm width, comfort fit style, PT 950, whatever that means. Hey, it's appraised. It's got a receipt. Maintained at a jewelry store. Like, how it's had its oil changed regularly. That's nice.
It's ready for its new life of love and commitment.
Worked
Wow.
great the first time.
Wow. That's okay. Great. If you need a wedding band.
Yeah. But he didn't get the pro membership.
No, did not.
So
Like
only
three
three pictures of this well-maintained platinum wedding band.
Apparently. It's a slow news week on Racing Junk. I couldn't find anything.
But hey, do some joy scrolling.
You can find anything on Racing
Find
Junk.
anything on
apparently.
Racing Junk. It's awesome.
Okay. All right. No racing yet for a little bit, but we're coming up on some. So soon we'll start talking about racing. Yay. Okay.
It's
Is it
cold at Barber coming up, I heard. Like
cold?
Yeah.
I mean,
You've been
usually
there in the
is.
cold. It's, yep.
This one, yeah, but this is going to be, I think because my parents have already gotten snow and they live not even 90 minutes from there. So that whole region's getting, it's going to be a cold
forecasted
year.
to be 20 at night. People were asking about, what do you do to keep your race engines warm? And everybody's like, we don't go to Barber.
The other thing is you bring one of those plug-in electric heaters and you park it in front of the radiator of your car.
Yeah.
Back in
Yeah.
the day with incandescent light bulbs, you just put a couple work drop lights in the engine bay.
They still
Yeah.
sell that. You can go to Harbor Freight and get the metal canister light with a big bulb in it from them. And it's to like stick under your sink when it gets really cold.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Same way
very
they keep your fries warm at McDonald's. Yeah.
Yeah, that-
good. And your engine bay. Awesome. Okay, so let's start feedback time. Okay, on the YouTubes, at Chris Perez said, don't modify your factory fuel system, all in caps with exclamation points.
We had an episode about that. I'm not going to go look it up, but yeah, but then we tell you how to do it. But yeah.
well, that should be Chris P. The
Oh, it's Chris P.
Yeah, Lemon's staff.
Oh,
Vehicle
okay.
It's Chris P.
inspections. And he lives just north of us. And yep, that's Chris P.
Just north of us is far away, but just saying.
I
Wyoming.
didn't connect
Yeah,
that Chris P would be his last name. I just figured like Crispy. That's just
No.
what we called him.
Crispy.
Yes, but that's what he goes by because there were too many Chris's.
Yeah.
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 Michael K chimed in as usual, saying, in the Midwest, the tech folks send a lot of cars that fail to Bad Decisions Racing for help. The only ones that Pagel did not touch on that is also easy to fix is the battery hold down not sufficient and the kill switch kills things. We've actually take pride in the fact that more than once we fixed a car that ended up beating us in the standings. That said, the most common we fix for is for folks is incomplete welds, which also includes incomplete contact of the base plates to the floor. The latter is always professionally installed cages by builders that did not have or refer to the how not to fail tech. Seriously, it's like my first safety gear. It's like, you can do it.
Now, in some other feedback, we did get progress reports from Alex, who was building his Honda to debut at the MSR race. He got it back from Jerry Ringel. He's fitting the thing in there, and they're going to finish up those circular welds. And normally we wouldn't do this because it's bad pod, but it's great video. So Brian Davidson sent us this video of Tatra on Instagram and something from the 1960s, their marketing materials was going around. So these were the infamous rear engine cars that, the German officers were forbidden to drive during World War II because they were so dangerous, but they are absolutely just putting this thing through its paces. And it is hilarious to watch, man. Look at that. Just throttle on oversteer coming out of the corner. They are just,
I'm sure it's
like fording a stream.
Rolling down a hill.
yeah. And it's fine. Look at it. Yeah.
I like the lady. She just put her hand over her face.
I didn't take the parking brake.
Yeah. And dude in that car is just wearing a lap belt.
If that. Yeah. Wow.
So I'll have a link to this in our show notes because it's a great video.
Wow. That's a lot. Oh, shoot.
You know who doesn't roll hurts down.
Good plan. Yeah, let's not
Very often.
very often.
You know who would always read the How Not to Fail Tech if someone brought her a roll cage to weld?
It's the rule book. Yeah. Speaking of, let's move on. Main topic time. The rule book. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Last week, our guy Pagel, he was here to coach you through all the rule changes. But this week, Colorado's own mad scientist, Tom Webb, he is here to give you practical, smart ways to be well in line with those changes. From, I don't want to solder anything, I just want to tape it to my door, to I want to spend 80 hours building the $5 solution that cost me $100. But he can help you do it all. And he is actually, as you just mentioned, spent his one-handed computer time very productively, unlike literally every other person on the planet. So he has been finding these creative solutions, and he's going to walk us through a whole bunch of stuff, which, I'm looking forward to.
One-handed computer time?
Those were your words. I've got one hand, so I've been on the computer.
That doesn't sound like what I was doing.
That's the point. Anyone else here's one-handed computer time? Oh, Tom? Yeah, he was fixing something. Yeah.
He was learning.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that just killed all of your views or if y'all are still on there.
We can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got toe straps.
The first and easiest rule change to talk about is the toe straps, because honestly, these are much easier to use than developing your own crud. All you have to do is make sure that buckle is bolted with a high grade bolt and that the buckle faces forward. It can be lateral. It can be up and down. It could be sideways. As long as that buckle is facing forward, and whenever that strap is tight, it's not pulling up against any kind of bumper assembly or anything. That's all you have to have, front and back. It is so much easier. The big thing to remember on these is not to bolt them down, not to bolt them flat, because that will be pulling laterally against that bolt. So as long as that is either straight forward or lateral, it doesn't matter as long as that buckle is pointed forward.
So you want the bolt in shear, not in tension.
Yes. Yeah. You don't want to twist on the bolt. You want the bolt to shear, which they're not going to do. It's probably going to be the strap that breaks first. But of course, I bet Pagel talked about that. If a strap breaks, there's a lot less mass flying at the truck driver than if there's a hook or a hole or a bolt or a U-bolt, any I-bolt, any of that. So these are plentiful. The least expensive one that I would use is the Race Grip. It's like $22. The most expensive one I found was the Sparco FIA rated. It's $37. It should not be hard to get a hold of. There's dozens and dozens of them out there. These are just some examples that I pulled off the websites. That is the easiest rule change to take care of. I think everybody will be okay with that.
And we will have links to both of these. In addition, also, we had some readers asking about the link to the personalized ones that Chris found a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So these are great. These are cheap. And I'm sure that having spares is good.
Now, putting these on, it's not always just as simple as, oh, great, there's already a wonderful bolt hole right here where I need it to go through.
Yep.
So when I've done these in the past, I've had to weld a plate onto something sturdy and then bolt through that enough to have it be a sturdy thing. Or I've welded a nut onto the right place and gone to a frame rail that had spots for the bolt to go in and have enough threads of engagement for it. That's worked too. What I'm planning on doing this time, which Pagel gave his blessing to last week, is cutting off the original factory tow hook that's screwed in that was metal, cutting it off a little bit behind the plastic of the bumper, welding this all to it. And that way it's still engaging into the OEM designed hole, but not having the knife or spear sticking out the front of the car.
Yeah, something to break off. And just like seatbelts, there's not a expiration date on these, but UV is what kills the nylon in seatbelts, and it's going to do the same thing to these. So when people start using these every couple of years, they probably need to check them / just replace them because they're cheap enough to just do it.
And tuck them out of the way too. I've seen people have these that drag on the ground, and that just degrades just degrades the webbing. Right. What I've done is drill 2 little holes and put one tiny zip tie holding it up out of the way. That way, I mean, any pressure, it's going to break, but it keeps it up out of the way, and that's held for years.
Makes it easier for that recovery guy to find too, because he's trying not to get run over.
And doesn't have to stuff himself under your car.
Red thing in front of a white bumper. I'm just going to snap that right off, hook it up, boom, I'm gone.
Yep, that's what the Vega has. It's got a little zip tie holding it up out of the way. Because we were looking for options for that, and they had the little skinny old bumpers pre-74, so they weren't going to hold a lot of weight. So we just used the straps, and we've already had these, so it works pretty good. We
did have that happen at Sonoma too. We had a car who had a tow hook mounted with in accordance with the old rules, and as soon as the golf cart went to pull it, it ripped the bumper off.
Yeah, we were standing right there, pulled the whole bumper off.
Wow.
Because it just wasn't strong enough to begin with.
No.
I think was it an RX-7?
It was. Yeah.
So we have the next lighting change. This is one that I really shilled for quite a bit. Was the new rules: you cannot have any LED light bars over 6 inches, and if you do, those are only allowed to be corner marking lights. So they have to be on the corners, low and out. They can be in the middle too. Just they need to be low and aimed out. So if you want to know the differences between focused and unfocused LEDs, on this picture, you can see that LED light is an aftermarket headlight assembly. It has a lens across the entire assembly. This is an unfocused LED. You can see the diode on the center. These diodes on the centers. Yep.
If you can't figure out the difference, don't go LED.
Yes.
And do not buy anything for your car at Harbor Freight. It's wonderful if you're trying to light up the garage or you're trying to light up the desert or an empty sky or anything. But for the 24-hour races, Harbor Freight has nothing for you. Nothing.
Nothing. No, it's.
I'm just going to stick on the magnetic lights on the corners, right? Little work lights.
Little work lights. Well, that's another rule change too.
I did drive my Lotus home with one of those zip ties.
It worked out really pretty well. I mean, we only went up a driveway, so it wasn't like that bad.
Well, it was like 3/4 of a mile.
But you also weren't racing, so it's fine.
True.
Yeah. So the rule change with no LED, no unfocused LEDs should be used as driving lights. The definition of driving light versus headlight, they're almost the same, but there's an option here that shows you what an actual driving light should look like. Driving light is a focused light that actually says driving or DOT on it. Anything else is a fog light, and it's going to do that diffuse pattern. So there's so many different ways to do headlights on cars and different options like aftermarket motorcycle headlights, or some of the headlight kits that I bring to Lemons that usually my family or somebody that's helping us out will sell over to the side. Those are Hella driving lights. Those are options too. there's so many different ways to do that I didn't really get into the headlight options on this. It's just I want everybody to know the difference between a focused and an unfocused LED if they do start to change these up, because that's the only one that's allowed.
And I want to jump in here and share a photo that you shared with us. And this is the testing at High Plains. And you see the board right here. So if light is going above that clearly demarcated orange line, then you're screwing it up. And what everyone was wanting to do at that race is just tape over part of their halogen spewing trans bulb. And that's never going to work because none of that is focused and it just spews it everywhere. So just don't.
Yeah, that's I've got a display for that too on these roll sheets here because this has the diagram of the cutoff. And,
yes.
And this description here I put is this is one of the things I sent when I was trying to get the rules changed. This was sent to everybody in Lemons like Nick and Jay. There are more and more cars at the 24-hour races showing up with nothing but unfocused LED lights and fog lights with no actual driving lights. The snag is that these can be aimed low enough to pass light tech, but by that time, there is as little as 50 feet of lighting distance, and that's almost dangerous. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration says 160 feet is standard for a low beam of focused light, sometimes over 200 feet for a high beam. A car traveling at 80 miles per hour covers 117 feet per second, so another 100 feet of visibility is almost an extra second of reaction time. That is massive, especially with what we're doing, because of other rule changes that came down the line that we saw at Thunderhill. You come up over a crest and there's a car that's dead with no lights, nothing. The electrical's dead. They can't get going. You need that extra second to see that car. That is another reason why this DOT reflector tape rule was added.
And now real quick is, well, then why can't I just have as much light as I want? Like, right? Because this is what it does to the car in front of you. And that's in their rear view mirror and their side mirrors, and no one can see anything. It's called dazzling, and it's also equally dangerous.
Yeah, that was that was an absolute failure of that light board because they were blinding everybody around. And
but so much light. I need to be able to see.
I want the 3-foot bar and put it on my roof.
It's 50 feet of the sun and nothing after that, so everybody's blinded, and you can't see down the road far enough to do what you want to do. So this is like, we're starting to get into, these are things you need to purchase, and this is where you go. So when it says DOT reflector tape, this is what it looks like. This is the DOT reflector tape. It alternates red and white. It is very, very reflective, and more often than not has a DOT stamp on each part of it, each section of it. That is what is required and accepted. It's available everywhere. I'm going to probably mention Amazon a lot because it's what you can get. You can get it in a couple of days. They have lots of things. But
so just quit blocking us from being Amazon affiliates, Amazon. Dang.
Yep.
You don't meet our qualifications. We would sell so much of your crap.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff that I'm going to talk about comes from Amazon. So here is a picture example of Quincy's. I think they're Arc Flash Racing.
Yes.
That is the old lights. These actually worked enough for the rules back then, but this is a spotlit number where there was a light on the end of the mirror that shined onto the number, and that is no longer allowed. So specifically, as written, self-illuminating lights. And the next thing I'll go to on this is another rule change is it's specifically written, nothing battery powered. Those things were dying. Anything on the light, any lighting that is battery powered, it needs to be hooked to the car system. It needs to turn on when the switch is on, needs to turn off when the switch is off. So we move to LED strip lights. Those are some of the easiest ones to work with because they are cheap, they're plentiful, and there's various ways that they come. The kits that I would sell, I guess I need to kind of define that because I didn't sell anything for any profit when I would go to those 24-hour races. We just had stuff on the side for spare if you failed tech. Every dime of that went to Lemons of Love. So these are the kind of lights that I would bring because they're just cheap and simple. We're going to start at cheap and simple and work our way to expensive and difficult. Here's an example that
just how we all go racing.
Yep. I think this is so fast. with some LED strips, and he evolved it into that number where he actually 3D printed a panel for it. These are available everywhere, including Amazon, and this is him at a night race with that number. It's not huge, but he only had one number, and it's perfectly visible. Here is a larger set. This is also LED strip lights, and that is just the easiest way to do it. You can cover the whole thing in tape. A lot of these are their own sticky backing, but I wouldn't 100% trust the sticky backing on it. Just clear tape it to your door, wire it up, call it ready to go. So I have the neon LED rope lights are pretty cool. They're a little bit more expensive. They're slightly more hard to get a hold of. They're also a little harder to mount up. They usually end up needing to be periodically either wired or zip tied to, say, like a panel. And I found that I've got a pretty good example of some stuff that I found that was relatively inexpensive. That this stuff is bright.
Oh wow!
And this was $12, I think, for the whole roll, and it's just I have it hooked up to an M12 battery. But it's super easy to work with. But it also, one strip, you basically need to write your numbers, and then you can even go on to the next number and maybe cover it with some electrical tape or some masking tape or something, anything that'll cover that light to start the next number. They're slightly harder to work with than the LED strips because the strips sometimes just come in lengths of like 18 inches. But this stuff is super awesome and bright. And I have another example of a car that runs it, and I can show at a night race. The guys at Savage Orchid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they use the purple, and they built their numbers out of panels. So the numbers stand off like an inch or so from the car on spacers. And those numbers sort of have like a backlit reflective quality to them. So they're super easy to read. But also when you have to do this, a side swipe can take these out. So we made them pretty durable, but these can be removed pretty easily if you don't do it right.
Now, I like that second picture because that is Tired Iron Racing and Savage Orchid on the track. And they're using the light showing on the numbers. And it really does show the massive difference in readability.
Yep.
And we've pulled people in that passed lighting tech and said, sorry, corner workers can't see your number, but I passed the rules. Gotcha. But if a corner worker can't see your number, then we can't do it. And particularly at high plains overnight, a great majority of that track is on closed circuit television.
Yep.
So it's got to be blatant.
Yep. It's pretty easy to see through those cameras. And if you can't see it, I mean, this is just night and day. Mm-hmm. Especially, this side lit, non-self-illuminating number can wash out in other people's headlights. And you also see an example of the yellow HID lights shining behind this I think that's Jeff and the Fieros, Salty Thunder. That's a really great color to have for headlights. It really helps. We have the next example. These guys are great. The Tamarichi Motorsports made this really awesome how-to video that just sounds just like those episodes of how it's made.
Yeah.
With the background music and everything. It's amazing.
I think Blizzard has this linked in his lighting guide, which we have in our show notes. Yeah.
So this is what I've been playing with quite a bit because this is what I call a diffused light panel. It's sort of, this is a tracing panel from Amazon that, like if you were going to do some artistic drawing or something on paper, you'd be able to have it shine through the paper. It's just a panel of lenticular plastic. It's a light diffuser panel with thin, bright LED strips on either end. And these are pretty great to work with. This is like during the day. You can see how bright that is.
Yeah.
And then you just take vinyl and put it over it. He's got several layers of different things in there, like the vinyl and then another layer of clear vinyl to protect it from blowing off or getting torn up. These panels are durable. They're inexpensive. They're really visible.
Yes. And that second photo you have with the one right there with it like the Miata, obviously it's on the door.
Yeah.
But the other car, it's in the rear window.
Yep.
Which will protect you from a side swipe.
That is definitely my recommended place to put these panels or any kind of lights that you want to make. Even if you use strip lights, make a panel, mount it up there out of the way, especially out of your view. You don't want it shining in your side view mirror. But get it out of the way, get it in the car like that, and it is super visible to both the track workers and everybody else. I have been playing with this quite a bit, and I've found some ways to make this easier to make, because I found some of these panels that I've been able to do it with 12 volts. These require a lot of soldering and a 5 volt, not a lot of soldering, but a 5 volt power supply, because these have an off on button that you want to eliminate, so you don't have any problems with, when you turn the power on, having to actually hit that button to turn it on. So I've made some panels now that I have examples of that run off of 12 volts with minimal amounts of soldering. Oh,
there's your glow on your screen, Chris.
What?
Yeah.
That's the back of the panel. That's the front of it.
That's amazing.
So it is the right size for up to 3 numbers. And this thing is actually so bright that it's a good thing, because you can take the panels and make colored panels out of it. I've found some headlight films. So now I can make this kit, and this is also bright, but that's green, and it's barely, like, there's 420, there's the number on it. This panel weighs almost nothing, and I was able to make this with one hand while I was off on my surgery. So yeah, that's on the camera. It looks a lot brighter than it needs to be, but I'm considering
that would even pass during the day. So you build that one for every non-24 hours.
Oh, and then you turn it on when you're doing 24.
Yeah, you don't even, this can be all your numbers if you want it to be. But I'm going to have some holes in the corners to mount it up, and some vibration dampener rubber bits. I'm thinking about making kits of those that include three panels with, you put your own vinyl on it or anything, but I'll have different colors. I have green and purple and red and orange, just to match whatever kind of theme you have going on. But I've discovered how to do that. Their video is great to watch. I would say this is one of the best options for both cost and visibility, but it does require some soldering. So if I start making these kits, I'll probably do the same thing where I just sell it for donations of lemons of love. And the next most expensive and hardest to mess with, but super awesome, is the electroluminescent boards, electroluminescent panels. These are super thin. They're cuttable. You can just trim it however you want to. They do have like a transformer that's required for them, because they have like a weird voltage set in them. They're sort of, I don't know the specifics of it. It's like an Indiglo watch. It just needs a higher amp, lower volt, something or other. But these are getting harder to get a hold of. I spent a couple of hours on the phone trying to call different people through Alibaba.
Oh no!
Yeah, because they would
this for you people.
Just
Wow.
tons of call or emails
Doing
about
this for you.
talking to the phone with people wherever they were, and I couldn't get a specific answer of if I had to order a bunch of it. But there are people out there that have done it. There's these guys that race a lot in. I need to get their team name, but they did get these panels off of. I think it was Alibaba, and got a quote for them, got them sent in.
And that car is also street parked. It's registered and licensed. They drive it to the track, and it's street parked in the Bay Area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dedication.
Yeah.
That's a fun
He had these lights before the light changed. The last light changed. These lights were actually like up on the hood. They had to move them down for that race, because that was one of the last rule changes about how high the lights can be. So these EL panels are fantastic, but they are the hardest to get a hold of. And this kit right here, right now, is about $450. And it's not the legal size, because part of the rule change was to specify that the lit numbers need to be the same size requirements as the regular old school numbers that we have. So they have to be 12 inches tall and readable. So I put another note on here about making sure that everything runs through the 12-volt system, nothing battery powered. We had a team whose taillights tried to die on them, and they tried to replace them with some battery powered bicycle lights. At Thunderhill. And I was like, guys, there's no way. There's just no way. Not only do they not light up when you hit your brake, but there's just no way. I don't know if Pickle talked about this or not, though, but there are some exemptions to the night racing lights that are hooked up to the 12-volt system, but it all has to do with interior. A great option to have on a night race are those little tap lights that run off of AAA batteries that you put in your closet, but you should cover them with like red lens repair tape so that they're up in the roof of the car and you can just tap it and turn it on, but it's just bathes it in red light. That's about the only thing. Like my wife, Jan, works safety on the hot pits a lot. And she keeps seeing, like if they were walking down and they see something lit, then they're going to think that you're fueling with your switch on still. But we talked a lot about that with Pagel. There are already some different kinds of gauges that have backup batteries in them that stay lit. He's okay with dome lights and then some of those gauges that stay lit on their own, because those are just tiny little battery systems. They're not the full electrical systems. You probably need to check with him if you're going to do anything too crazy, because obviously I'm not the person that writes the rules. But those little tap lights are pretty handy to have. So that kind of ends all the stuff that I had for availability on trying to find the best option that you want to have and the best time you want to spend on it, and your skill level as far as electrical goes. And yeah, that's all of it.
Now, let's talk more about what the rules are about where the lights have to be so people can like test these things at home before they show up. Like there's a certain height at a certain distance and things like that. Right?
Yeah. So we've got this diagram with, this is the way to test it at home. You need to be somewhere dark and it's 25 feet. Like park your car 25 feet from a wall and then measure 40 inches up. And if your lights don't cut off at that 40 inches, if they go above that, you need to make some adjustments or you need to reevaluate what kind of lights you have going on.
Fantastic.
Good.
I guess I'll just do that in front of the garage door. That's probably the easiest spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, you probably want to aim them. It's like everybody keeps saying the OEM lights are the best. And if you got OEM lights, sometimes they're off in weird directions, especially if you have to remount them in your car after like a couple of front-end collisions, or you put the front of a truck on your Porsche, like that one car in California.
Yeah. Or you get your car back from the Mercedes dealer after hitting a deer and one light points up, one light points down.
And you like literally can't drive out of the parking lot.
$4,000 LED headlights do that.
Yeah.
So.
We were like, did you fix that? And they were like, yeah, we didn't do anything with the headlights. Or we didn't
name them. Yeah.
No.
It's great. Just
at least they admitted it. No, we did that. That's factory. But
once they got,
adjustment
once
period.
they got it and saw it, they're like, oh, yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
You hit a couple of bumps, it'll line itself out. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. Fantastic. I know we're going to have to do this. I mean, the Mazda has all of its stock lights still there. So that seems like a nice start to me.
Yeah.
We're obviously going to we need to run some corner lights, I think. So
corner lights are amazing. They really are. I think everybody should use them. And that's the only place that I ever have used those little square LED pod floodlights, just you aim to the corner and down so that they flood the ground. And
now,
if you get the amber colored ones.
Okay. Now put them actually on the corners of the car or the middle, but pointing at each other. Like, what's the best way to set those
or
up?
the end and cross.
The best is a way that they're not going to get squished if you accidentally bump into somebody. So if the corners are probably the best for view, because they're just already going to be on the corner and you don't have to cross them as much. They're also going to be the most out of the view of the person in front of you. But it just depends on where you can mount them safely and where they're not going to get smooshed. Everybody keeps having a bunch of stuff that sticks out past their bumper like 12 inches and just one little tap and all of a sudden they're dead. They're dark,
Okay. I was thinking about hooking those up to the stock fog light wiring. It's like, well, if it's already there, I could just turn that on, and that should the low voltage requirements compared to the halogen fog light. So I think it should work. Now, so I've got the stock headlights, got the little corner lights on. Is it also worth getting a set of pencil beam driving lights?
Yes, as long as they are focused like that.
Yes.
I like having, if I had stock lights, like when I ran the Pinto at night, I'd had the stock lights, but I had HID upgrade kits for them. And the cool yellow, like 4000K, 3000K is some of the best color variant for night racing. It's low eye fatigue and it shows a lot of gradient across textures. But I had two driving lights. I had the regular driving lights, and I had some actual focused beam hella driving lights in the middle. It's like you're talking about. As long as if they're too focused, then they may not be very helpful. But as long as they're basically just like a second set of headlights, but maybe a little bit further down the road, they're amazing.
I used to have all this on my Land Rover or Met's Land Rover.
Yes.
It was a light show when everything went on, but
It was so great. I bought that car and drove it through a snowstorm, and it was the Millennium Falcon going into warp speed. It was fantastic. I could see to tomorrow.
I think we did the same when we did a TSD time speed distance rally in the middle of the cranberry bogs of New Jersey. And we also had flying through bugs driving, and you've got bugs coming through. Yeah. And you could see into the dark. We ran with deer were running with us because you could see because of the side lights that you had off of the roof.
Yes, I remember those, the side lights too. Yeah.
One thing that we were talking about doing to our car was cleaning up the headlights. So the headlights are a little bit on the yellow side just because they're kind of old. So we were going to do like a 3M kit, just like the
I have those.
Kit.
They're amazing, especially the ones that come with, it looks like an alcohol white, but it's like 4 times as big. It's sort of a diluted super glue. And after you polish everything, it puts this awesome clear lens layer that fills in all those little gaps and just makes it just so smooth and shiny.
Yeah. We just figured because I think that will help if we're just going to rely on the stock lights, at least if they're clear. That's a good place to start.
And you can use the high beams and the low beams on the stock lights as long as the high beams and the low beams both don't go over the cutoff. Lots of people were asking about that.
Aren't they going to, in theory, blind the people that are?
If the high beams, if they don't go over the cutoff, then all they do is give you a brighter light that's wider. So the cutoff is the key part. That height is what gives you not firing straight off into somebody's rearview mirror or across the field. Because like we ran a 24-hour race at MSR in 2018, I think, and that place is dead flat. So a car 10 turns away was blinding somebody, pointing right at them way off on the other side just because it's so flat. And that's the cutoff is the main thing. As long as you're not over that cutoff. So far Pagel's been happy with it, so I've been doing the same thing he's been doing.
Okay. Now also, isn't there a rule about reflectors too, right?
Yeah.
It's a new thing this year. Okay.
Yeah, that was the that reflector tape. So it's right there. The rule is that it needs to go around every corner of the car. So at least 12 inches by 2 inches. And of course, more is better. But that goes around each corner. And in instances like we had a bit of a harrowing night at Thunderhill. I think Mental was there too. A car had completely died. No power, no nothing. And they couldn't see him off in the middle of the grass.
Yeah.
That was one instance where nobody knew he was out there, and he was starting to wonder if he needed to get out of the car and walk somewhere until somebody finally said, "Oh, there's a car out in the middle of nowhere."
Yeah, some racers actually came into penalty. Hey, there's a car out there. No, we did not. We will get someone on that.
And the second instance was somebody was dead and sideways on the straights, and taillights, headlights will have reflective qualities to them, but if you're getting ready to T-bone a car and you can't see anything on that side of that car, that's one of the reasons that we talked about this. And these wrap around each corner and are reflective is all hell, because they're most of them are like 3M, and they just have that really super. They look like a neon white light whenever you shine a light at them.
Yeah, that's like
and
$7.
I think it also helps when you're kind of gauging passing and that sort of stuff, because it gives you a scale of the car. That's the other point of putting them on the corners is, the car's this wide.
Yeah, as cheap as easy as that is, that's like the easiest solution. Like, especially if your car doesn't have the original lights to have the reflectors built in, as it once may have.
Yep. I like corner marker lights. I like the lights on the side of the car. It's worth just wiring them in. Or putting something there in their place if you just don't have them. Trailer lights are my go-to for everything but headlights, because the flush mount LED trailer lights with like stop and just regular driving lights, like $6 a piece. They're super easy to wire up and they're very visible. And the little side lights for a trailer make fantastic side marker lights to go on the side of your car where the original ones were.
Excellent. Also, likely easily replaced at the Love's truck stop in the middle of the night if you need to.
Yep. I've had a few people, I bring those trailer lights to races, and I've had a few people come up and ask for them after they gotten rear-ended a little bit because they needed to replace something. Or somebody said, I just don't think I have enough light. And they make a fantastic third brake light, which is another great thing to have. Just throw something up there, make it taller and more visible. I think it was Tow Mater, the Miata. They had that tow rig in the back for their theme obstructed a little bit of the light that they had because they only had one.
But
sort of
theming.
But theme, yeah. They got another one and added it on the other side, so they had two on either side. It was pretty simple.
And
Themes are important.
uh
Okay. Lights. That's a lot.
Well,
That's good.
all right, it's sort of an on-the-spot question, but I feel like it's going to give insight. All right. So your kid races.
Yep.
What are you putting on that car?
We have found the stock headlights to put in, and I'm going to be putting in the yellow tinted HID replacements that go in there. That'll have ballasts. I'm going to get a name brand of those because some of the cheaper ones, the ballasts are not always great. They get a little bit hot and they stop working. But if I don't go that way, I'm not going to go LED replacement bulbs because even those still don't diffuse properly if they don't have a focused lens on top. And the factory headlights don't have that. They just have reflection from the back. So they're either going to be a yellow tinted HID replacement, or they'll be, because they're racing this car, their Volvo in September at the 24-hour for their first night race. It's either going to be those HID yellows, or it's just going to be a standard bulb with either a yellow tint or just like the standard tint bulb. We're going to replace their side marker lights, and they have trailer lights on it now, but I'm going to get a slightly brighter LED version that I was talking about. We're going to mount in the slits because the corners are a little dented up. The stock taillights won't really fit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do the number panels that I've been building. The first 2 or 3 of them I'm saving to the side for their car. And I don't know what color we're going to use for them yet. But the great part about these being so bright is that light, that film that you put over it is almost needed with a color to deaden them down a little bit. And so we'll probably do blue or something. I think they're just going to do like a Swedish version for that. But there's another thing I'm going to add, which is more reflector. 3M just makes a white reflector tape that you can also just use as, it's like an inch wide, and it comes in like a 30-foot roll or 50-foot roll, and it's self-sticky and it's really good sticky, and it just looks like a trim line. And
that was you had that 2 years ago at the HPR race, and we got pulled in Hanka's Corvette. There's the infamous me singing while punch drunk in costume, and Neil's in the car while I'm trying to get the reflective tape on there as quickly as possible so we can send it back out.
Yeah, we're gonna have that stuff. I think the stuff y'all were using was also I've glow in the dark duct tape. That was kind of neat because every time a headlight would shine on it, it would recharge. And you're looking for anything that would help you get those numbers to pop more. But I'm going to run down the whole line of the car with that white reflective, just to extend more of that DOT style reflective tape, because it'll be practically invisible during the day. But if you just flash a flashlight against the side of it, it's just like this white, like a lightning streak that runs across when it lights up so well.
I remember motorcycle friends doing that. They would get the clear decals on their side panels, and then at night, just the slightest light would light those things up reflectively so they could be seen.
I want them to be seen from the side, and I'm going to put a red tap light just up here so you can just reach up and tap it, because it really helps to get your belts together at night when you can.
That's a good idea.
And
absolutely,
that red tap light is going to be great for not only getting it out of the car, but just if you die, if everything's dead, that red tap light's pretty bright and it lights up the whole interior of the car, so they can see you out in the grass as well.
Yeah,
but the red part being for not killing your night vision, so that when you get into the car and out of the car, that's the one color that's best.
I
Putting
remember
belt,
like early on, we would get just the Harbor Freight light switch, put the whole switch and you could stick that to the roof. And it was great because it would light up the entire inside of the car. And it was great for doing belts. But yeah, then your night vision was completely shot.
Yep, you can take any light. Like I've made taillights out of those red square LED spotlights before. I just put 3 layers of that red lens repair tape on them.
and putting belts on in the daytime is still hard. So having some kind of light inside. Chris, make a note. We got to do that.
Yeah.
The dome lights like that with the little batteries are just really nice.
Yeah, that's just easy.
Yeah, if you're not making all your lighting decisions based purely on what's the cheapest, that's some solid advice because that's what Tom puts in his family's race car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we're getting ready to do.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, I got to do that.
We have a little bit
Oh,
of
well.
time. So that's
Car's
good.
still in the trailer with all kinds of crap piled on it, so we'll get there eventually.
I put
It's
those
like a-
tap lights in the trailer too.
It's like a little
Yeah.
cold out. So like we'll do it later or something.
Later.
that's future Chris's problem.
We'll do it later. Even
Car's
then, when we get it out, we don't
Race ready otherwise, so I'll just do that
You
later.
don't have anywhere to put it. So we
You're
can't.
honest. I mean, you could really just do this on Friday at the track.
Because mostly it's the stock headlights. So
yeah,
yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
Now, also scrolling down here, you had some links in the show notes because we talked about helmets.
It was in the email, so that's why I copied it from the email.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So lemons, because you get a lot of people are like, oh, well, these helmets are legal. You need to check with your series. Lemons has decided that they will accept the 2015s through the end of this month. Or I'm
No.
sorry, through the end of January
Next-
a year
yeah,
from now. Sorry, I
next year.
reread that. 1/1/27. And it's the same problems they did 10 years ago. They're just having problems getting all the 2025s out to market. There are some out there, but yeah.
Yep, like Chrissy's that she ordered a couple weeks ago. We'll
Yeah,
see
it's supposed-
eventually.
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
supposed to be here in January. I mean, if I don't see it like February 1st, I'm just going to make sure it's still showing up eventually. So
Mm-hmm.
I think there's still some 2020s available. I think that's what mine is.
Yeah.
there
There's
are
actually some deals on some 2020s.
Yeah.
Like good deals.
It probably
just
works out just as well getting the 5-year off version every 5 years instead of the new version for 10 years.
Well, I
Yeah.
already committed, so there's that.
Well, he's about the same. I think Tim got his new Stilo. He's like, well, it's about half the price of new, so I'll just keep doing that. And
Yeah.
And then you got a good fueling helmet when you're done. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then if you don't like it for some reason, then you're not committed. I'm going to love it. I can't wait. But I hated my last one and I just suffered through forever. So, maybe that
I
is a
paid
better
for
idea.
it. I'm going to wear it.
That's exactly what I did. And then I was like, yes, new time. Let's go. And we'll see how it is when it gets here.
excellent.
Yeah. So that was just from the email that they sent out for lemons. Are there other? I started looking through the rules page, but I wasn't sure if there was more than we should note.
Yeah.
Those are the big ones, obviously.
Yep. Cool.
Cool.
Well, thanks, Tom. That
Yeah,
was
Tom, this is very helpful.
solid.
Massively. And if I can ping you to throw the links in the notes for some of those products you have, that would be most
Yeah.
awesome. If you have the Amazon links.
Most everything you can search just from the name or the picture description. But yeah, I can find some links, especially to the specific light panels to use if you're going to do
Yeah.
the diffusion and make your own setup that come for that video. That link of that video, Lemon's posted in the rules. That's great too. They're like, hey, here's a great link.
Yeah. And that's a proven team showing you how to do it. And we'll also have that link in the show notes.
And
So-
of course,
If you're going to be doing one of the overnights this year, take some time, plan ahead, get it done. If you got questions,
reach
talk
out.
to one of us. Yeah, reach
Yeah,
out. We'll,
yeah,
point you,
yes.
we'll point you at somebody if we don't know the
I'll be
answer.
at both of them.
Yeah, there you go.
If you've done a 24-hour in the last 3 years, I've been there.
Yes,
Yeah.
but we don't want to wait till it's the day of the race to
Yes.
talk to you. So
Friday
let's do that.
afternoon is a line at Tom's.
At Tom's table.
And the
Yes.
longer the line, the bigger your donation's going to have to be.
Yeah, how about just do it now while he only has one hand and it's cold outside. So like this is probably a better time to like get ready, ask your questions. do the work.
Because like I know Tim talked about those the initial version of those tracer panels.
Yeah.
And just go get like some super glue, and every joint that where the wire turns, you reinforce that, because they did not have any pull tension, and that's where they were failing.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those lessons learned. And you can still do the cheap panel, just the spend another $1 and reinforce the failure points. So these are like some of the questions that might come up, like, hey, ours are blinking in and out when we install them, and this is why. So yeah, if you're having those kind of weird problems, also reach out.
This one's full of the electronic grade silicone on every edge too, to hold the wires in place and keep it waterproof. But I did that when I had it apart based on that video that they sent a link to.
Well, and it might,
one-handed.
It might rain. Def has rained at HPR before, so probably should consider that.
If you ever want to test how into racing you are, have it storming overnight in a 24 that you're not competitive in. You will find out how much you love or do not love this endeavor.
That sounds like
love your easy up.
That sounds like, yeah, right. That sounds like nap time to me.
And there are teams that are like, nah, brah, we're going to rack out. We'll see when the sun comes up.
That might be us. We'll see. We'll see how dedicated we are.
So there you have it.
Awesome. All right. Lots of good information here. Thanks again, Tom. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that really was great. We do appreciate your, because you obviously have proclivities to this sort of stuff. So you dumbing it down to the liberal arts major. That was really great for me.
Well, I played a lot with what works and what doesn't work, and the things that we used to sell to help out when people would fail tech. We got to see a lot of things that work great and some stuff that didn't work as well. So we've been evolving that as we go. And with this lighting change, that's where I really tried to spend a lot of time to make sure that these kind of things would survive. And we've got to see what will and won't. And I'm pretty sure these will.
Yeah. And if you found a lighting solution or a number solution that is within the letter and the spirit of the rules that we didn't cover here, throw it in the doodly doos. We'd all appreciate the research you've done on that one. All right. Do we don't have anything really for just a tip or anything, do we? I mean, you guys are all in snow. I could,
No snow. No snow.
I snowed a little.
Okay.
Second mind.
I could warn you what to do when it's 70 degrees and sunny in January and you're on your way to work and you know.
We don't have enough snow to shovel, so there's that.
Ooh, okay.
So,
we have enough snow to put out the fires we're going to have later in this year. So,
yeah, it hasn't snowed a lot here.
oh well.
Well.
All
right.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Join us because Timmy's going to tell us all about his time at Daytona, what he can remember.
Yes.
Might be a short show.
We might have to come up with another topic.
Hey.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hated us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text us at 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook under Everyone Racers, or even Reddit at /V1On. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up, unless, like us, there is no shiny side, then just keep those wheels.
I am which was got in the